Okay, so today I want to talk about money and just like the futility of coping with money because nowadays, in like the internet age and stuff like that with TikTok and YouTube and all these guys, all these grifters and whatnot, this is the age of just like people envying and seeing all this all these people with their money and their supercars on social media thinking that this is like some kind of this is what you should achieve, aspire to, and being envious of that. Now is the age where people just want to make money really bad. They think it really matters. They think, it's going to bring them greatness and admiration from people. They think it's how you become an actual person that's respected and all that. And they think it's going to give them, a partner. They think it's going to give them friends. They think it's going to fix all these pains that they've been having in their life. It's going to deliver them from something. All that is bullshit. You just have to be honest with yourself. This is just bullshit. And these people actually haven't realized this. Think about it. There's studies that have been done that have showcased that you don't even need much money and before your happiness plateaus. I think it was 70K, but that was in the past. You can adjust for inflation and whatnot. It's probably higher now. And after that, your happiness plateaus. And I think it's pretty obvious when you think about it because imagine in your daily life, you're making like 100K, let's say, right? What is there more to buy? Like with more money than that, the difference in between 100K and 500K or something. What is there even to buy? What is there to do? You already have a house, you already have a car, you already have food every day, you can pay your bills, you have your knickknacks, you have your stuff, you have your clothes, you have your entertainment or whatever. What is there to buy? I mean, what is there to buy? Can you name something? A nicer car, like a supercar, who is shittier than a Tesla, who is less fast than a Tesla, who is uncomfortable, who like when it breaks, it costs you like $5 million to fix the brakes. Like when it gets broken, you need to replace a part. It costs you like $1 million. That's what you're gonna buy, like a supercar like that. For what? For flexing? I mean, what's even the point? Who cares? Like it's just people who want to flex. It's literally just like a technique that was created to scam rich people out of their money. You give them this like status symbol, this car that looks cool, and you take their money. What are you gonna buy? Like a nicer house? Like what do you need a nicer house? You already have your room. Your room is already like an empty concrete box where you're sleeping and there's just like a mattress on the floor and a computer or something. That's already your room. Do you need like three more rooms? You already have like two rooms and a bathroom and whatever. Do you need like three more rooms to put what in? To put trash in? It's gonna end up being full of McDonald's trash. What's the point? There's no purpose to that. So it's like, what are you doing with your money? And that house is gonna end up costing you even more because you're gonna have to do maintenance, pay property tax, and all this crap too with it. So it's like, what's the point? What are you gonna buy? Like jewelry, and all these items, and it's like there's nothing to buy. There is literally nothing. I mean, attempt to think of something. There's nothing to buy. If you're gonna invest your money or whatever, I mean, sure you can do that, but what's the point anyway? You're gonna get more money later on to do what? Once again, there's nothing to do, and this is why happiness plateaus pretty quickly. This is why people who are the smartest and things like that don't actually tend to make the most money. They tend to plateau so at a certain point because my guess is that they kind of have some, they develop a certain kind of wisdom. They don't get so attached to status symbols and things like that. They're more self-centered. They're more self-contained, so they don't really rely on these external validators. They just kind of realize that it doesn't matter and they kind of just don't need to make that much money. So I think a lot of people just stay at that level and they're just correct. It's like this, and once you realize this, once you really realize that, once you have like a good job, 100K is a lot of money, but depending on where you are, of course, if you're in Manhattan, you want to make more than 100K, but and if if you're in some lost town, then 100K is a lot. So it depends on the place and stuff, but once you make a certain amount of money that isn't that high, that is moderately high, you know, it's really it. It's really kind of it. It doesn't matter at all after that. It doesn't matter all this nonsense. It's just these status symbols and these toys that people bring up like to flex with each other. It's just silliness from people who have nothing better to do. So really, when you once you really realize that the importance of money stops at a certain point, you really kind of start thinking like all these people who are selling you this lifestyle, who are pretending like you need to be rich, all these people who want to be rich so bad and who are just trying so hard they think it matters so much. They're so obsessed with money and all that. All these people telling you, don't go to college, don't do this, don't do that. You need to start a business, make so much money. Oh my god, this obsession that people have with business and stuff like that. What is really behind that? Because clearly what they're doing isn't even going to be fruitful. It's never going to lead them to satisfaction because it's silliness. You don't need much money to actually reach the utmost satisfaction that you can't even reach. After that, it becomes frivolous and ridiculous and doesn't even matter. So what are they doing, all these people? Are they just dumb? I mean, they're just dumb largely. They just don't have any idea of what they're doing. But I think a lot of it is also just like, of course, scammers, but also the people consuming that kind of content. They're just people who are desperate. These are just people who had nothing in life, or they had a shitty life and they just want to escape their crappiness. They just want to escape their low status. They just want to escape their mediocrity and the fact that people don't respect them and make fun of them. You know, that's why all the messages that are getting passed in these circles, it's always like something like, don't give up, you need to keep going, you're the man. They laughed at you, but in the future they're gonna need your help. All these like messages that are clearly like directed at loser guys who like have like who have like big aspirations, like delusionally big aspirations. It's always these same types of messages, and it's just so stupid. Like, it's so futile. But these guys are so desperate. They're so trash. Like, I mean, I don't want to call them trash, but they're so like mediocre. They don't really have anything to show. So they just want to make money so bad to prove themselves, to show that they're valuable and all that. But it's all futility. It's all a big waste of time. And they're really just completely deluding themselves into thinking that this is the way out. The reality is there isn't really a way out. What you have right now is really the same life that you're always gonna have. It's not gonna be very different depending on where you are right now. It's never gonna be really different. No matter what happens in your life, you're always gonna be looking out of the same eyes. You're always gonna be speaking out of the same mouth. You're always gonna be breathing out of the same nose. Things are never gonna be really that much different. Things are kind of just set from birth. And this brings me to the core point of this, is that happiness, satisfaction in life isn't about making enormous amount of money or being some kind of overachiever. All that stuff is just propaganda, pretty much. Real kind of happiness in life, fulfillment, and a life that you're really going to be proud of living is really, it starts at birth. You need to be born in the right family with the right genetics. I mean, once again, it's really what it's about. Because if you're born with the right genetics, I alluded to it, you're going to look out of the same eye, speak out of the same mouth your entire life. If you're born with the right genetics, then you have really the most important tool to living life, which is just your person, yourself. You're well constituted. People are going to appreciate you. You're going to have success. You're going to be intelligent. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be beautiful. People are going to appreciate you. You're going to have a healthy social life. That matters in all these aspects, and it just makes everything so much easier and so much more enjoyable. You're going to age well and all that. And the second part is also just being born in the right family, in a rich family that is going to help you, caring with siblings that are actually reliable, in a good neighborhood with good job prospects, good education. You're set. And once you finish all that, once you go through your early life and you get a job and all that, you're going to be making like good money. Maybe not extremely big amounts, which you don't need, as we've seen. You're going to be making good money, and you're going to be set. You're going to be in your, as soon as you get a job, you're still young, you get a job. At that point, you've already reached everything you need to reach. You're a young dude, you've gotten a job, you've had an amazing childhood, amazing family, amazing time growing up, formative years were great. You're just, a healthy dude who's just kind of just vibrant, and people like you're likable, you're nice to look at and all that. What is there more to do? I mean, that is the life. That is really what life is about. That is a good life. All this money nonsense doesn't matter. You know, I would much rather be that guy, even not even making a lot of money. In that example, I said you'd be making like okay money, like 100K, which is kind of the peak of happiness anyway. But even if you're not making that much money, if you're making like average wage, it's still so much better than any kind of amount of money that you can really get. I mean, this is the life. Life is really about things that you can't control at all. Arguably, you can't control anything, but from a certain standpoint, things that you can't control at all because you weren't even there to, witness them, witness their creation, like your body itself, like your family, like your socioeconomic status, like your place of birth, like your path in life, the schools you go to, the experiences you have, your health, things like that. These are the things that truly matter. These are the things that create a good life. And I'm going to be beating the drum endlessly on this stuff, I guess, but this is kind of what it's about. And if you don't have that, if you don't have it, if you don't even have it partially, you need to just get honest with yourself. All these copers and these silly red pill guys who keep just making these narrative, attempting to escape, they're wasting their life. They're wasting their time. They're getting scammed and grifted and deluded, and they're hurting themselves to a degree. You need to just accept that you've been born with a certain skill cap. You've been born in a certain situation. You're not gonna escape out of your body or whatever. You've kind of been destined to a certain life, and you're only gonna do so much. And in fact, you can only do so much, and it's fine. There's not even so much to do. Your life is probably not even that bad. You need to get real with yourself. There's no greater life, some greater achievement, some place to go to, some amazing deliverance. There's nowhere like that. The world is kind of what it is, and it's okay. It's not even bad. It's fine. I mean, it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. It's livable. So you need to accept that with yourself. You need to accept that you've only been given so many gifts, and you've been maybe given you know, some a bad hand. You've been dealt a bad hand, as many people have been, and you just need to be honest with yourself. This is kind of what I have. This is what I am, and and it's not that bad. It's not even really that bad necessarily. It's not even really that bad necessarily. Yeah. And once you accept that, it becomes much more easier to just live with yourself. I think that's why it's so attractive as an idea. It's because many people fear that because they think it destroys their ambitions. But the reality is, your ambitions are just delusional. They're delusional. They're ultimately useless. They're never gonna amount to anything. They're futile. You're really aiming at something that either doesn't exist or isn't what you think it is, and you kind of just need to appreciate what you have. I mean, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do. You can maybe try to change things, make things better for the people after you, but really, this is your life, and that's kind of what it is. So yeah.